So today I have an upper level beginner, intermediate combination for you. I want to say upper level beginner because the tempo makes it reachable for some beginners to be able to do some of the rhythms that I've got going on in here. And some of the steps and combinations, like a beginner dance to me is very repetitive. It's very like, let's do it on the right, and then let's do it on the left, and then let's make sure we do 4 of this, just so that you have time to practice all the steps. This is a little bit more of an actual dance, less practicing the steps, so that it's going to make it a little bit difficult for like the lower level beginner dancers to kind of do, but that doesn't mean don't try it. I like to be honest with you about the level at the beginning of the video so you know what you're getting into. I would call it intermediate, but I want to put this out there to the beginners because I feel like this tempo will make this a little bit more reachable for you. It's a very slow tempo. This song wasn't technically a request. I did get a request to do a little bit more of this genre, but I know this genre is kind of a touchy one for some people. So I got a request to do more country, and I myself am a country music fan. I like all kinds of music. There's not one genre of music I don't really like. But I am a country music fan, but I do know that some people just don't like it at all. It's one of those that you either love or you hate, I get it. So I know that Marshmello and Kane did a collab. So I thought that kind of like what I did with the Thomas Rhett, Kane Brown, Ava Max, how it was kind of like a mashup and it has a little bit more of a pop sound. I thought that doing the Marshmello, Kane Brown country song could be a nice hybrid for you guys that don't necessarily like country. But yes, this is One Thing Right. I think it's called One Thing Right. Maybe? One Thing Right, yes. I was like, is it One Thing or One Thing Right? It's called One Thing Right by Kane Brown and Marshmello, or Marshmello featuring Kane Brown. Anyway, I'm talking too much, so I don't know what that was. It's probably Sanger getting into something. So I definitely would say that this is an intermediate level, but if you're a beginner, this is absolutely reachable for you, and there will be options. So anyway, without any more talking, let's get started. So you have 5-count riff is how this starts. And the 5-count riff, and here right away, there's options, literally right away. For the beginners, I would say, and a 5-count riff, and then you have shuffle, ball, change. That will be your option. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, ball, change. Then you do it on the left. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, ball, change. Let's do that together, and then I will show the intermediate version. 5, 6, 7, 8. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, ball, change. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, ball, change. It is that slow. All right, intermediate option. You have 5-count riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. So it's 2 shuffles, step, heel, stamp. And then you do it on the left. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. All right, so do that again. 5, 6, 7, 8. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. All right, so do that one more time. Just make sure we got that. If you're doing the beginner one, it fits to that. It's just a little bit slower, so do that along with us. 5, 6, 7, 8. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. And a 5-count riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. All right, so your right foot's free no matter what. If you did, your right foot's free. So then you have paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp. So this is right, left, right, left, right, left. So let's do that again. Right foot, left, right, stamp, stamp. Left foot, right, left, stamp, stamp. All right, one more time, just that. Paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp. 5, 6, 7, go. Then you have paradiddle stamp, so one more paradiddle stamp, and then a cramp roll ball change. So it's paradiddle stamp, cramp roll ball change. Now if you need another option there, you can go paradiddle stamp, step, step, heel, heel. So make the cramp roll a little bit slower. that part would be paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, pull, ball, change. Beginner version would be paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, step, step, heel. Either way, you end on 8, so it's good. So let's do that again. I'll do the intermediate version. Let's go from paradiddle, stamp, stamp. 5, 6, 7, 8. Paradiddle, stamp, turn, pull, ball, change. Okay, so let's do that one more time. I'm going to do the intermediate version most of the time, but I will, once we have the music on, I will show what the beginner version is supposed to sound like. But if I give you the option and you take it, you do that, okay? So, from the beginning, 5 count riff. 5, 6, 7, 8. And a 5 count riff, shuffle, shuffle, 7, 6. And a 5 count riff, shuffle, ball, change. Paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp. I tried to say the beginner version and do the intermediate at the same time. Definitely didn't work. So, all right, one more time, just that. 5, 6, 7, go. Paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, turn, pull, ball. All right, let's do that with music. First time I'll do intermediate, second time I'll do beginner, third time I'll do intermediate again.
I've cheated and I've lied, I've broke down and I've cried. I've got nothing to hide no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I've loved and I've hurt, broken people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure. Known to be crazy, known to be wild, I'ma have yourself a little devil.
So it's a good slow tempo. All right, I'm going to do the beginner version this time, but if you're doing intermediate, you do you.
I've cheated and I've lied, I've broke down and I've cried. I've got nothing to hide no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I've loved and I've hurt, broken people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure. Known to be crazy, known to be wild, I'ma have yourself a little devilish child.
Okay, seriously though, I love this song. Okay, one more time that part. I'm going to do the intermediate version.
I've cheated and I've lied, I've broke down and I've cried. I've got nothing to hide no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I've loved and I've hurt, broken people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure. Known to be crazy, known to be wild, I'ma have yourself a little devilish child.
Okay, so I'm going to move on. If you need to go back, you know what to do. Okay, so we have the same thing twice. And again, I have options, but I'm going to show the intermediate version first. You have one train step, stamp, ball, change, and then you have shuffle, hop, step, ball, change. So it's 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4. So do that with me. So it's stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step, ball, change. All together. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step, ball, change. Now your right foot's free again. You do it twice in a row. On the right side, nothing changes. So twice in a row. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step, ball, change. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step, ball, change. Now it's a little bit faster than that, I think. So just let's do it a little bit faster, and then I'll show beginners what you are supposed to do. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step, ball, change. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step, ball, change. Now, to give it an intermediate option, you take out the ball change and make the Irish a little bit slower. So it'll go stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. So let's do that together. One train step, one Irish on the left. And you do it again. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. So let's do that at tempo. twice in a row. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. Good. One more time just to make sure we got that. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. Good. Now everyone's right foot is free. You have step, shuffle, ball, change, step, shuffle, ball, change, step. This is a waltz clog. What I've noticed about this dance so far is that almost every single step I've used is available as a tutorial in the tutorials playlist below. So I did not mean to do that, but I was kind of going through those videos this week to plan my classes, and I think all those steps were just on my mind. So I have riffs, paradiddles, cramp rolls, Irish, and waltz clog, all available. If you need help with any of those steps, click that link down below. It will be a big help. And then you can just come back to this video when you're ready. Okay, so waltz clog is step, shuffle, ball, change, step, shuffle, ball, change, step. So your right foot was free. You have step, shuffle, ball, change, step, shuffle, ball, change, step. So you have to separate the ball change and the step. They're not the same. Step, shuffle, ball, change, now you step. Now you step. All right, do that. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step. But it's like way faster. I do have an option for beginners, but this is still the intermediate version. It'll be step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step. All right? It's super, super fast, but relax and you can do it. Let's just try it at that tempo. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step. Your left foot is free. At the end of that, I'm not ready to go on. I just want to remind you of that. All right, one more time. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step. So if you need a beginner option, I have that for you. The most important thing is that we keep the rhythm, not necessarily the step. I just want us to keep the rhythm. So we've got that 1E and a 2 and a 3E and 4. So for the beginners that can't get the waltz clog that fast yet is a very important word, what I have for you is a little bit different, but it keeps the rhythm. You're gonna do stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug, stamp. So while the intermediate version is step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step, you still have that da 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 da. You see, the rhythm is like perfectly there. So it's stamp, 2 chugs, stamp, 2 chugs, stamp. And your left foot's gonna be free. So let's do that together. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug, stamp. Relax into those chugs. 5, 6, 7, go. Stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug, stamp. Okay, so if you're doing the intermediate version, it's, if you're doing the beginner version, it's, okay, so you just had the step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step. Your left foot comes across, and a riff, spank, cross, heel, heel, toe, toe. Again, that's another thing that's in the step tutorial, the rhythm turn. So you had step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step, and a riff, spank, step, heel, heel, toe, toe. I have a beginner version, so do not fear, but the intermediate version is the rhythm turn, and a riff, spank, cross. Now you have left heel, right toe, right toe. Okay, so, and a riff, spank, cross, heel, heel, toe. So let's do that one more time. And a riff, spank, cross, heel, heel, toe. So adding that onto the waltz clog, the waltz clog is fast, the rhythm turn is not, so it will be okay. Let's do that together, and then I will show y'all what the beginner version is. 5, 6, 7, waltz clog. Step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step, and a riff, spank, step, heel, heel, toe, toe. Let's do that again. 5, 6, 7, go. Step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step, and a riff, spank, step, heel, and your left foot is free. You just have 2 5-count riffs, one left, one right. It's basically the same rhythm. Isn't that cool? It's almost the same rhythm, there's just one little variation. So if you're doing the beginner version, it's stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug, stamp, and a 5-count riff, and a 5-count riff. So let's do that together, and then I'll go over the intermediate version one more time. 5, 6, 7, go. And a 5-count riff, and a 5-count riff. All right, so back to the intermediate version. If you're doing the beginner version, do that at the same time as I'm going over this. Waltz, clog, step, and a riff, spank, step, heel, heel, toe, toe. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, one more time. 5, 6, 7, go. Step, circle, hop, change, step, circle, hop, change, step, and a riff, spank, step, heel, heel, toe. Okay, we have spent a good amount of time on this little line. Now we have to add it to the train step. That's how that all fits together. Beginner version fits together like this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. Stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug, step, and a 5-count riff, and a 5-count. All right, so let's do intermediate, then I'll do beginner, then we'll do intermediate again. Okay, just that part. 5, 6, train step, go. 1 and 2, triple hop, step, ball, change. Stamp, ball, change, triple hop, step, ball, change, waltz, clog. And a riff, spank, cross, heel, heel, toe, toe. And your left foot will be free again. All right, beginner version. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. Stamp, ball, change, shuffle, hop, step. Stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug, stamp, and a 5-count riff, and a 5-count. All right, one more time, intermediate version, and then we will add it to the top. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Okay, just to go reminder from the top, it's paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, roll, ball, change, train step. Okay, that's how that all fits together. Let's do that together before I add music. All right, if you're doing the beginner version, you know what to do. You got this. I will do it with you with the music the second time, okay? 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 5-count riff, shuffle, 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 stamp, and a 5-count riff, shuffle, 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 stamp. Paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, roll, ball, change, train step. Triple hop, step, ball, change. Waltz, clog. And a train step, heel, heel, toe, toe. All right, I am going to do the beginner version without music, so let's do that. If you're doing intermediate, you do that. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 5-count riff, shuffle, ball, change, and a 5-count riff, shuffle, ball, change. Paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, step, heel, heel, train step. 5 and 6, 7, 8. Stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug, step, and a 5-count riff, and a 5-count riff. And that's how that all fits together. All right, intermediate, then beginner, then intermediate. Let's do this with music.
I've cheated and I've lied, I've broke down and I've cried. I've got nothing to hide no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I've loved and I've hurt, taking people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure. Known to be crazy, known to be wild, my ass a little devilish child, strangers
beginner version, and I will call out a little bit of the steps so that you guys know what's coming next. This will work for intermediate
Cheated
too.
and I lied, I broke down and I cried. I've got nothing to hide no more.
6, 7, 8.
Loved and I hurt.
Left side.
People down with words.
There, little
More
dance
grace than I deserve, for sure.
Train step.
Be crazy, gonna be wild. I have some little devilish child.
Stand top side.
To the troubles at my door. I've been at the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life.
Alright, again, it's another difficult one to call out, but it's okay. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to do the intermediate version, but if you're doing beginner, you do you. I've noticed I have a couple catchphrases. We got this, you do you, and why is my neighbor doing lawn work? Although, you guys heard, there's no lawn work today. Do you know why? There's a hurricane. So, ups and downs. Alright, one more time.
I've cheated and I've lied, I broke down and I've cried. I've got nothing to hide
Ready?
no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Loved and I hurt. Get people down with words. More grace than I deserve, for sure. Gonna be crazy, gonna be wild. I have some little devilish child. Stranger to the troubles at my door. I've been at the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life.
Alright, so not much left. I'm going to keep going. So we have your left foot is free. This next part is for everybody. I hope if you need to take stuff out, if you're a beginner, you can. It's just drawbacks though, which is why I say upper level beginner. So if you haven't really done drawbacks yet, that is a step tutorial down below, but that's a hard step to just like go fast right away. So let's just go with it, and maybe I'll think of an option as I do, but for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. It's 4 syncopated drawbacks and a ball change, and then again, 4 syncopated drawbacks and a step. So syncopated, what does that even mean? It just means that you're doing it off the beat. The step isn't any different. But I do start with a step, not a spank, as I show in the step tutorial, by the way. So I do set you up for it to be my way. Most of the time I do it that way. I did freak everybody out the other day with, I don't even remember, was it Happier? But it started with a spank. So you're here, it's step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, ball change. So it's 4 step, spank, heels, and then ball change. So really that's all it is. It's step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, ball change. So 4 drawbacks and a ball change, and it's pretty quick. But relax, you know your drawbacks. Let's do this. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's do that again. This time we're gonna add a second set, and you step instead of ball change because you want your right foot free at the end. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I do have an option for beginners. I did think of one, but let me keep hearing this for a second. So we have 5, 6, 7, one more time. Step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, step, spank, heel, ball change, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Okay, for beginners, you have 4 slow drawbacks. That's it. But you have to put a step down like right away. Okay? So go 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So beginners with me one more time. I heard it in my head and I'm like, ooh, that's good. It's gonna sound really cool. So let's do it. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So make sure you put weight on that and, okay? So you just did that's where it fits. Unless you're a beginner, then you did 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then beginner a couple times in a row, and then I'll keep going. Let's go from the waltz clog. So intermediate. 5, 6, 7, go. Step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step, over wrist, spin, step, heel, heel, toe, toe, drawback. Okay, make sure that you put that weight on that foot. One more time, some waltz clog. 5, 6, 7, go. Step, shuffle, ball change, step, shuffle, ball change, step, over wrist, spin, step, heel, heel, drawback. Okay, beginners from stamp, chug, chug. 5, 6, 7, stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug, step, and a 5-count riff, and a 5-count riff, drawback. One more time. 5, 6, stamp, chug, chug, go. Okay? Then everybody's right foot is free. I think. Yes, everybody's right foot is free. For intermediate, you're gonna do stamp, chug, chug, shuffle, diddle, or stamp, chug, chug, shuffle, step, heel, shuffle, ball change. So let me break that down. For beginners, I'm gonna give this to you right away. You do 2 more stamp, chug, chugs. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. There's a lot of stamp, chug, chugs in this one because this song has a lot of bass, so I wanted to try to accent that. So beginners, you're just going 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So you can practice that for a second. The way it transitions is 1, 2, 3, 4, stamp, chug, chug, stamp, chug, chug. Okay? Intermediates, you just did you have stamp, chug, chug, shuffle, step, heel, shuffle, ball change. So do that. Stamp, chug, chug, shuffle, step, heel, shuffle, ball change. So this is shuffle, step, heel, put your weight on it, shuffle, ball change, switch your weight. So you push the left. So stamp, chug, chug, shuffle, step, heel, shuffle, ball change. 5, 6, 7, go. One more time. Okay, good news is that it's not that fast, and then you finish it with one of my favorite things, paradiddle, 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 stamp. We're almost done with the whole thing. So you did, you just had a riff, spike, step, heel, heel, toe, toe, drawback. Stamp, chug, 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 heel, heel, ball change, paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. So just isolate it from stamp, chug, chug. Y'all hear that? That is a hurricane. It's okay, we're fine. It's like a tropical storm. We're good. Those people not in Florida are like, are you okay? Yeah, this is normal. It's the most normal thing that happened in 2020. So, we have, go from stamp, chug, chug. So it's stamp, chug, chug, shuffle, step, heel, shuffle, ball change, paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. Timing wise, it's 1 and 2, the end of 3, the end of 4, and 5, the end of 6, the end of 7, and 8. So you hold the and of 4. Do that with me. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, chug, chug, shuffle, step, heel, shuffle, ball change. Paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. One more time just to make sure we got it, and then I will do the beginners. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stamp, chug, chug, shuffle, step, heel, shuffle, ball change. Paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. All right, beginners from the drawbacks. It goes 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. So do that with me from the drawbacks. 5, 6, 7, go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. We are almost done. I'm just going to finish finish it is only literally 3 steps left. So you have 3.5 single time steps. What makes it 3.5? The last one is just stomp, hop, step. Don't do anything else after that. And I'm weird, I know I start my time steps on 1, not 8. This dance definitely called for it to start on 1. So it'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8. If you need a beginner option, I got a great one for you. All you're gonna do is 4 stomp, hop, steps. I do this in my classes all the time. Stomp, hop, step, stomp, hop, step, stomp, hop, step, stomp, hop, step. So you're stomping, hopping on that back leg, and then stepping down, and you do it on the side. Stomp, hop, step. So it's just 3 of them, or 4 of them, sorry. Stomp, hop, step, stomp, hop, step, stomp, hop, step, stomp, hop, step. Okay? So you have the 3.5 time steps. Then you have 2 maxi-fords and a ball change. And then you have paradiddle, paradiddle, scuff. That's the end. So it's 2 maxi-fords and a ball change. Step, toe, 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 ball change, paradiddle, paradiddle. So do that part with me, and then I'll give you the beginner option. 5, 6, 7, go. All right, one more time. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, toe, toe, ball change, paradiddle, paradiddle, scuff. All right, beginner option is that you do the maxi-fords just a tiny bit slower, and you take out the ball change. So you're gonna do step, toe, toe, step, toe, toe, then paradiddle, paradiddle, step. All right, so putting that together with the time step for beginners, it'll go 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. Step, toe, toe, step, toe, toe, paradiddle, paradiddle, step. And to do the scuff, remember it's just your heel. Just your heel going forward on the floor. One more time, beginners, from the time steps. 5, 6, 7, go. Maxi-ford. Okay, back to intermediates. Let's go from the time steps into the maxi-fords, just like that, but intermediate version. 5, 6, 7, go. Maxi-ford. All right, so let's take it back to you just finished. Let's take it back to the drawbacks. So I'm gonna walk through it, intermediate version. So you have 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 5 and a 6 and a 7 and a 8. Stand, chug, 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 step, toe, 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 ball change. Paradiddle, 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 time step. Maxi-ford. Okay, that's how it all goes together. Let's do that a couple times. And then I'll do the intermediate version a couple times. And then we will do just that part with music. And then we'll go from the top. Short dance turns out to be like an hour-long tutorial, but it's fine. Okay, so without music from the drawbacks again. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, ankle, step, ankle, step, ankle, step, ankle, ball change. Step, ankle, step, ankle, step, ankle, step, ankle, step. Stand, chug, chug, ankle, step, ankle, ball change. Paradiddle, 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 step, time step. Maxi-ford. All right, beginner version, same spot from the drawbacks. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, spank, heel. Step, spank, heel. Step, spank, heel. Step, spank, heel. Step, spank, chug, chug. Step, chug, chug. Paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. Step, time step. Maxi-ford. Okay, one more time for the beginners, and then we will do that with music, intermediate, beginner, intermediate. Got it? Whew. sound on my paradiddle. Like how? I do all that and then I miss a sound on my paradiddle. I'm not even gonna re-record that. Okay, so just the second half, intermediate first, so you can hear what it sounds like.
More grace than I deserve, for sure.
Alright,
Gonna
ready?
be crazy, gonna be
From the
wild.
drawbacks, intermediate version.
This child, you know, straight
5,
to the troubles at my door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
At the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life. And every kind of loss that you can't find, but I got one thing right. Been the kind of guy girls moms don't like, running with the wrong crowd on the wrong night. I've been wrong about a million times, but I got one thing right. You.
Do you see why those time steps really needed to start on one? Just that full lap step with his voice. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna do the intermediate version this time. I mean the beginner version. Haha, I meant the beginner version. And then I'll do the intermediate one more time. Beginner version this time.
With words, more grace than I deserve, for sure.
Alright, beginner version, like I
Gonna
said.
be crazy, gonna be wild. Gonna have yourself a little devilish child. You know, straight to the
Okay,
troubles
left
at my
foot.
door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
At the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life. And every kind of loss that you can't find, but I got one thing right. Been the kind of guy girls mamas don't like, running with the wrong crowd on the wrong night. I've been wrong about a million times, but I got one thing right. You.
Alright, so that's what the beginner version sounds like. Let's do the intermediate one more time. If you're doing beginner, you do you.
Broken people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure.
Ready?
Gonna be crazy, gonna be wild. Gonna have yourself a little devilish child. You know, stranger to the troubles at my door.
5, 6, 7,
At the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life. And every kind of loss that you can't find, but I got one thing right.
Time
The
step.
kind of guy girls mamas don't like, running with the wrong crowd on the wrong night.
Maxi-fords.
I've been wrong about a million times, but I got one thing right. You.
Okay, now let's walk through the whole thing. So it starts with 5 count riff. So I'm going to walk through the intermediate version first, then we'll walk through the beginner version. So 5 count riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. 5 count riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. Then you have paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, cramp, roll, ball, change. Right? Then you have train step, Irish ball change, train step, Irish ball change. Waltz, clog, step, and a riff, spank, step, rhythm, turn. Now the new part you just did. Spank, chug, chug. Time step. Maxi-fords. All right, let's walk through that one more time without pauses. 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 5 count. Riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp, and a 5 count. Riff, shuffle, shuffle, step, heel, stamp. Paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, paradiddle, stamp, stamp, roll, ball, change, train step. Again. Waltz, clog. And a riff, spank, step, heel, heel, toe, toe, drawback. Chug, chug. Paradiddle. Time step. Maxi-ford. All right, beginner walkthrough, almost the same. So it's on a 5 count, riff, shuffle, saying this to myself too, because the beginner version is not written down, so I'm just like hoping and praying we got this. Same thing before, this time we'll do it 4 times. We're gonna do beginner version, then intermediate version, then beginner version, then intermediate version. 4 times just to give everyone twice through at the end, okay? And there's always the rewind button. You can have a million times through at the end. All right, beginner version first.
I've cheated and I've lied, I've broke down and I've cried, I've got nothing to hide, no
Ready?
more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I've loved and I've hurt, breaking people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure.
Train step.
Be crazy, gonna be wild, I have shuffle and never this child,
Hands up, up.
to the troubles at my door. I've been at the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life, and every kind of loss that you can't find, but I got one thing right. Every kind of guy girls mamas don't lie, running with the wrong crowd on the wrong nights. I've been wrong about a million times, but I got one thing right. You.
All right, intermediate this time. This is a bad idea, me going back and forth between the two, but it's fine.
I've cheated and I've lied, I've broke down and I've cried, I've got nothing to hide, no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I've loved and I've hurt, broken people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure.
Train step.
Be crazy, gonna be wild, I have shuffle and never this child,
Waltz clock.
stranger to the troubles at my door. I've been at the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life, and every kind of loss that you can't find, but I got one thing right. Every kind of guy girls mamas don't lie, running with the wrong crowd on the wrong night. I've been wrong about a million times, but I got one thing right. You.
Okay, let's do beginner again. This time I'm not gonna say anything, so we can just dance it, okay? If this is your last time doing it, make it fun.
I've cheated and I've lied, I've broke down and I've cried, I've got nothing to hide, no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I've loved and I've hurt, breaking people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure. Gonna be crazy, gonna be wild, I have shuffle and never this child, stranger to the troubles at my door. I've been at the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life, and every kind of loss that you can't find, but I got one thing right. Every kind of guy girls mamas don't lie, running with the wrong crowd on the wrong nights. 'Cause I've been wrong about a million times, but I got one thing right. You.
That was a close one for me, but it's okay. We got it. All right, intermediate, last time, like I said, make it fun, have a good time, enjoy the song.
I've cheated and I've lied, I've broke down and I've cried, I've got nothing to hide, no more. I've loved and I've hurt, broken people down with words, more grace than I deserve, for sure. Gonna be crazy, gonna be wild, I have shuffle and never this child, stranger to the troubles at my door. I've been at the wrong place at the wrong time, chasing all the wrong things most of my life, and every kind of loss that you can't find, but I got one thing right. Every kind of guy girls mamas don't lie, running with the wrong crowd on the wrong night. 'Cause I've been wrong about a million times, but I got one thing right. You.
All right, so this was super fun for me to do because like I said, I absolutely love this song. I hope you guys liked it. Again, I know the genre is like a hit or miss with some people. But I hope that by choosing a song that was Marshmello and a country artist, it helps you guys be able to enjoy it more. If you're like a big time country fan, I understand. If you have good country song suggestions that maybe like are more mainstream and people of all walks of life might enjoy, please put those down below. I'm always looking for ideas. If you are like, please never do country again, do this song instead, that's fine too. I will not promise I will not do country again. However, you can always look at the title of the video and go, yeah, that one's not for me. So I'm trying to give all genres of music so that every one of you has something that you enjoy. That's why I love taking your requests. I think somebody asked me like a month and a half ago for Kiwi by Harry Styles. I finally put it out and they're like, this was my dream. And I'm like, see, that's what I want. I want you to be able to dance to the songs that you love. So if you have songs that you love, put those in the comments down below. Hello, Bento. Do you have a song that you want me to do? No. He says, I'm just gonna go outside into the hurricane. It's not really a hurricane, it's just windy. It's fine. Actually, the tropical storm like stayed to the coast of Florida and looked at Florida and went, nope, and left. Same buddy, same. But if you didn't know, that's where I am. I'm in Florida. But anyway, so every single step in this has a tutorial down below. Time steps, maxi-fords, cramp rolls, waltz, clogs, you name it. It's got a tutorial in the list. I did not even mean to do that. It just kind of happened. But yay, if you did all of those videos and you want to practice it to a song, bam, this is the one for you. I'm like pointing at this. You can't even see my notebook. Like, this is the one for you. But yeah, anyway, I will go ahead and end my video that's super, super long by now by saying thank you for dancing with me.